In the Serengeti Reserve, something incredible happened. The elephant Anika, going through the toughest ordeal of her life, became part of a rare natural wonder. Nature challenged her, pushing the limits of her endurance to the extreme. Staff and her herd watched tensely, unsure if they could help their majestic friend. Painful contractions and anxiety about the future became more familiar to Anika. She was in her second trimester of pregnancy, and although she was already a mother, this pregnancy was far more difficult and stressful. Her belly grew larger every day, making her movements heavy and awkward. These days were hard for her, as her usual energy and independence gave way to constant fatigue. Stress and discomfort accompanied her both physically and emotionally. Anika had always been strong and resilient, like all elephants, but now she felt this pregnancy was a true trial. Every movement she made caused the reserve staff to watch her closely. The changes in her body were too obvious to go unnoticed. Elephants, the embodiment of care and attachment, were always protectors of their offspring. But childbirth had never been an easy process for Anika, and this time nature prepared a real test for her. The Serengeti staff, who knew Anika as a strong and resilient elephant, were in constant anxiety. Noticing changes in her behavior, they prepared for potentially complicated births. One of the experienced keepers, observing her restless movements, said, "Anika clearly feels something is happening. It's time to call the vet." The elephant expert, upon arrival, immediately noticed her discomfort. Anika walked heavily, her breathing was deep, and her large belly hindered free movement. Several times she stopped, racked with pain, repeating the same movements, trying to find a comfortable place to rest. "This will be a long process," noted the vet. "If it is indeed twins, we need to be prepared for challenges." He understood that such births could be risky, especially when it involved rare twins, and nature faced similar difficulties. The first signs of labor were marked by excruciating contractions, and Anika began to roam the enclosure, emitting cries resembling desperate pleas for help. John, the senior keeper with 20 years of experience working with elephants, quietly said, "Anika clearly feels something is happening. I've never seen her so restless." Anika stepped heavily, her breathing labored and intermittent, as if every breath was difficult. Her huge belly swayed with each step, noticeably hindering her movements. Occasionally she would stop, letting out a quiet moan that echoed across the savannah. "Look at her eyes," Sarah, the young vet assistant, whispered. "They are full of such pain and anxiety. I've never seen this expression in an elephant." "This will be a long and difficult process," Dr. Michael replied, his gaze fixed on Anika. "If it really is twins, we need to be ready for anything. Elephants rarely have twins, and each case is a fight for survival." Night fell over the Serengeti as intense contractions began. Anika let out a prolonged cry that awakened the entire herd. Her elder companion, the elephant Zuri, immediately came to her, gently stroking her with her trunk. The other herd members formed a protective circle, their massive bodies creating a living wall around the birthing mother. "Look how they care for her," Sarah said with tears in her eyes. "They understand something special is happening." Anika paced between the trees, trying to find a comfortable position. Her cries grew louder and more desperate. The herd responded, making soothing sounds as if trying to support and give her strength. Each contraction made her body shudder, and the intervals between them grew ever shorter. "It has started, Doctor," Michael said, turning on additional lighting. "Now we just have to wait and pray everything goes well." The entire reserve staff held their breath, watching this amazing and terrifying spectacle. No one dared to leave their post, even though the night promised to be long. Anika was more than just a ward. She was a member of their extended family, and now she needed their support more than ever. The herd formed a natural protective circle around Anika, as always happens in such moments. Despite their huge sizes, Their caring and sensitive behavior played a key role in supporting Annika in her struggle. Finally, the incredible happened. Annika gave birth to not one, but two babies. This shocked the reserve staff, who witnessed the rare phenomenon of elephant twins being born. Joy filled everyone, especially those who had known Annika for many years. "Twins!" exclaimed one of the rangers, stunned by what had happened. Nonetheless, alongside this joy came new concerns. In the wild, raising two young is very difficult, and often one of them is weaker. This adds stress to the mother trying to care for two babies at once. Annika's eldest daughter, who herself was already a mother, unexpectedly showed hostility toward the newborns. She expressed displeasure by stomping her feet, which alarmed the observers. "That's strange," one of the keepers noted. "Usually, elder siblings look after the younger ones, but here it didn't happen. Natural instincts in animals can manifest differently." A more experienced female elephant approached to calm Annika's eldest daughter, gently stroking her trunk and restoring order in the group. Watching the young elephants, it became clear. One of them looked especially vulnerable. He lay on the ground, desperately trying to rise but kept falling. Exhausted and worried, Annika tried to support him, her anxiety visibly expressed in her eyes. When the staff saw his difficult condition, they began to realize the seriousness of the situation. Although nature must take its course, the herd could not remain indifferent to the new generation's challenges. A week passed after the twins' birth. Thanks to Annika's tireless care and the herd's support, even the weaker calf began gaining strength. Dr. Michael, observing the family daily, noted the amazing change. "This is a real miracle. Both babies are surviving and thriving against all odds." Annika's eldest daughter, initially aggressive, gradually softened. One morning, the keepers noticed her cautiously approach the twins and start playing with them, helping them learn to use their trunks. "Nature takes its course," Sarah smiled. Family bonds proved stronger than initial hostility. The calves, named Kibo and Zara, grew astonishingly fast. Kibo, initially weaker, compensated for his physical frailty with curiosity and a lively character. Zara, larger and stronger, always stayed by her brother's side, seemingly protecting him. "In 20 years of work, it's the first time I've seen such a successful case with twins," John admitted, watching the calves play in the mud under their mother's watchful eye. Annika turned out to be an incredible mother. News of the twins' miraculous birth and survival spread throughout the scientific community. The Serengeti Reserve became a pilgrimage site for researchers eager to study this unique case. But for the reserve staff, the most important thing was seeing how this unusual family thrived, becoming a symbol of how nature sometimes offers the most astonishing surprises. A month later, when the twins already stood confidently on their feet and began exploring the environment, Dr. Michael made a final journal entry. The story of Annika and her twins reminds us that even in the toughest situations, maternal love and family support can create miracles. It's not just a story of survival, it's a triumph of life and love over all obstacles. Did you enjoy this story? Tell us your thoughts in the comments. Give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel to not miss new releases. See you soon.